Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Also accompanied by Jack Frost today, who's nibbling at my toes.
Yeah, it's cold, isn't it?
It's freezing. Dan's done a very clever tactical delay to get here for recording, so I've warmed the room nicely. To say I've warmed it nicely is pushing it.
I thought I'd arranged that. Didn't I say that in my contract?
That's the kind of privileges you can enjoy. We've had to upgrade his contract, listeners, because he's had offer from Port Vale. Anyway, here we are. We've had a cold time, but I think the 180 fans who went away to Grimsby had an even colder time indeed.
Yeah, well...
But their hearts were warmed.
I guess it's cold up there, is it?
It's definitely cold up there. Someone had written somewhere on social media that they never been so cold at a football match.
Wow.
Which is quite the claim, but if that's true...
Yeah. The coldest I've ever been at a football match is when I went to watch Tranmere once.
Right.
I've got some relatives in the area.
Okay.
I was about 10, and that's the only thing I remember about it. It was
Cold.
freezing.
Yeah, their left back
And
was a snowman.
what's his name? Kevin Francis?
The big lad.
Big lad.
Yeah.
He was playing.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Wasn't he 7'1" footballer or something like that?
He was big.
Yeah.
I'd never measured him, but he was big.
And you were only 10, so it's hard to gauge. Anyway, the coldest I've ever been was maybe when City lost 6-1. Was it Chesterfield at home on a Tuesday night?
Yeah, do you think you were made to feel colder by the fact that it was such a disappointing result?
It didn't help, I'm sure. Anyway, if you went to Grimsby, you were one of the 180. Absolute hats off. 5 hours each way.
Yeah.
But you rewarded.
When we look back on this season, I think games like this are going to be difficult to remember because there's been so many already like this, isn't there? Where we go
a long
away
way.
games, a
Yeah.
long way away, and we sort of grind out these 1-0s.
Yeah.
Like we get a goal and then we hang on to it. It's brilliant. I'm just saying it seems in my head to happen so often that it's not like they're not going to be that memorable as individual matches.
No, you just have to remember it's the time 2 of your toes were lost.
Yeah,
to
we just
frostbite.
remember, that one was cold, so that'll be Grimsby. And yeah.
Yeah, anyway. So how many 1-0s does that take us to now? So if you're not up to speed, listeners, City beat Grimsby Town 1-0.
Yeah.
How many 1-0s is that?
I think it's 10.
10 1-0s.
Yeah.
Remarkable. And we're not even... Well, I think we're about 2/3 of the way through the season now, aren't we? So that's just incredible.
Yes. It's odd, isn't it? I don't know what the record is.
No, we'll have to look that up. We haven't looked it up. That's the kind of research you can't expect from us, I'm afraid.
Oh, come on.
I mean, here's a piece of research you can expect. We've got a new signing. Brennan Dickinson. Brennan, not Brendan.
Yeah.
Dickinson spelt with an E, I think.
Not like Bruce.
Not like Bruce or Emily.
Or what's the other one?
Don't know.
You know,
No, I don't.
David.
Oh, yeah. Not spelt like any of them, with an E. And Brennan, spelt like Bishop Brennan.
Yeah.
Or Brennan on the Moor. Anyway, he went straight into the starting lineup at kind of left wing back. Come
Yep.
with a lot of pedigree, but not really played much this season at all.
No, he's at MK Dons, wasn't he? And he was a Paul Tisdale signing.
Yeah, funny that.
Yeah.
How the tables have turned.
I saw somebody suggest, and I think this was just without any kind of like real, it wasn't like they knew something they weren't saying, but that maybe some of the money just comes off the. I mean, I know they terminated his contract. We didn't pay a fee, but maybe I don't know. Could this be in some way tied in with the Boateng deal that they still owe us for?
Interesting.
So maybe.
I mean, we don't have any connections to MK now except for the players, right? So all of Tisdale's lot got cleared out with
Yes.
him. So, I mean, I guess the conversation, he'd have friends there now, wouldn't he? Boateng and Harley and whatever, Jordan Moore-Taylor. So he would have said to them, wouldn't he, what's it like down at City? So that's a kind of helpful, we get this quite a lot, don't we? I've spoken to Clinton Morrison or I've spoken to whoever and they've said that, yeah, it's a great place. And so Downey's come. He's still not an old fella or anything, but he's not had much game time since he went to MK. Before that, He was at Colchester and Gillingham.
I think at Colchester he had a ACL injury,
Okay.
I believe.
Right.
And he was kind of it seemed to be that he was really popular there, and that kind of set him back a bit. But obviously he's got over that because he's signed for a, I'm not going to say bigger club because Colchester have a proud history, and MK Dons have no history.
Indeed.
But they, no, I mean, they had Paul Ince as a manager. Does that count?
Well, it's history of sorts, I suppose.
Everything's history in a way.
Yes.
But they, yeah. So obviously he moved up a division even after that injury.
Yeah.
So, and he looked, from his, YouTube compilations, he looks good, doesn't he? Got a left foot on him, likes a shot, likes a goal.
He does. So he started quite lively. So Grimsby away, Blundell Park. Dickinson started, had a few kind of moments of action in the Grimsby half. Looked like looked like he knew what he was doing.
It's not the best. I mean, we went out the game. I listened to it on the radio, and I'm not nothing against the commentary, but just if you've got a new signing, it's very difficult to get a real kind of look at them when they just go. All you've got is radio commentary to go on.
This commentator, reserve judgment
slightly, but he didn't do. It sounded like he got forward a bit and like created a couple of chances.
So this commentator was in the worst. I'm sure it's a hard job, but he's got the worst kind of attribute that a commentator can have, which is kind of an explosion of noise.
This annoys you, doesn't it? You've said this before.
No, there's no names. I don't know what's happening. Obviously, we can't see. We cannot see what's going on. It's not like cricket, where there's essentially only one thing that can happen. So if someone gets excited, you know that a wicket's gone down. It's football. Anything can be happening very quickly. And so he'll be like, oh, the ball's bobbling around in the middle. Oh, it's going. Oh, like this. And you're like, what's going on? I don't know. I can't see anything. You're like screaming at the telly,
Yeah.
Not even a telly, it's the radio.
Yeah, well, he's excited. So anyway, he sounded like he did well, but we don't know. That's all we've seen. We haven't seen anything yet.
No. Game itself, though, solid 3 points.
Yeah. So Matt Taylor was saying in his interview something that I seem to be referencing an awful lot. But, especially when you haven't seen the game, that's what you got to go on.
Yeah.
That Grimsby were a better team. And from the highlights, it kind of looks like they had, the bulk of the chances.
Yep.
But they're not the better team if we beat them. That means we're the better team.
Taylor's criticism was we didn't use the ball well. He said the defence were good, but we didn't look like midfield. It was kind of midfield did the same the week before, didn't they? And I do think we miss Atangana, so it'd be nice to have him back. He's only got one more game of his league ban.
Yeah, it's but if even if we are gonna use the ball poorly, then but we can still win, then I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so the goal came quite late on, didn't it?
Yeah, so before that, we had quite a good chance in the first half. Sweeney, ball was knocked in. It wasn't a corner. It was free kick from outside the box. Law put it in. Sweeney, I don't really know. I would have thought either a left foot.
He had two chances, didn't he? There's that left foot volley that goes miles over the bar. You're not talking about that?
No, I'm not talking about that.
The other one where it looked like to me that he should have just headed it in. It was quite low, wasn't it? But he could have. It looked like a headed.
Keeper was coming towards him, and he instead of left, it was coming across his body onto his left.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But he hit it with his right.
Yeah.
Well,
he'd already had one with his left earlier on, hadn't he? So I think he's probably thinking, I can't do this again. But there is a third option.
Yeah,
Piers.
your bonds. Stick your bonds on it, Piers. So that was saved by the keeper. I felt like Law and Taylor actually had lots of good stuff in the first half. Like Matt Taylor was quite critical of the first half, but I thought Law and Taylor looked good going forwards.
Yeah, in the highlights, there's a couple of chances, a couple of bits where it looked like Jake Taylor was trying to make something happen. I do think he's quite good for that, with just like picking the ball up and just making a chance by moving it quickly in the right direction.
Yeah.
This sort of go on about this all the time, but I think that's one thing he does do really well. And if you that's kind of your job, and if then the wingers and the strikers don't finish it off, it's not your fault, is it?
No, indeed.
But yeah, but they had. But then we scored.
We scored. Well, so
Nicky Law kind of out of nothing, wasn't it?
Yeah. So second half, Law made it all happen. Kind of same kind of thing. Picks it up just inside the Grimsby half, drives forward, kind of met by a mass of Grimsby players, lays it off to Williams, who's on the edge of the box, who just kind of gets it back to him. It wasn't a good pass or anything, but he found it back to Law, who jinked it round two.
Neat little 1-2, I thought.
And then Kablamo scores a very nice...
Oh, so he just sort of cuts it back onto his left foot. Why is he shooting with his left foot all the time now? I mean, that one went in, but like in that last home game, against whoever that was, he had two efforts with his left.
He did, yeah,
top,
he did.
Didn't he?
Yeah,
he's a right-footed player, isn't he?
Yeah, I believe so. But he's, as they can say, do it with both feet.
Yeah, fair enough.
So he scored. That takes him to 7 for the season.
Yeah, I was just saying the other day, wasn't I, about how I thought he needed a goal.
Yeah. Taylor said the same in his interview, didn't
Yeah.
he? Like, good for Law to get a goal.
Yeah, definitely.
So that makes him our second highest scorer again. Martin's on 6, Law on 7, Bowman's still on 10. And then we held on. Ian Holloway was getting more and more animated. He does this thing, doesn't he? And they were talking about it on the commentary of like trying to get the crowd going. I mean, you've got to have a crowd
does
there
my head in.
first, Ian, to get them going. You know, in Futurama, where there's loads of famous old people who they now put their heads in jars.
Yeah.
Holloway was essentially that. He was like a head in a jar balanced on a scarf and a coat. Very strange to look at.
He looked weird.
I mean, he's a weird man.
I
isn't he?
mean, that coat didn't fit him properly. It's something really... I don't know what it was. I think it's that. Like, I don't know if it's too small or too big
Didn't look like he could move.
or just badly... Just didn't fit him properly. But there was something... And he looks old, doesn't he? I mean, I know, time makes fools of us all, but like... He did.
I mean, he was a fool
I'm
to
just
start with.
remembering him as the Blackpool manager, I think, when he's on TV all the time.
Yeah.
And obviously that was a while ago now. But I just thought like, oh, look at Grandpa.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Anyway, he wasn't coping well with the pressure.
No.
I mean, they've had a good run up to this point, so it was really, that's one of those hard games, isn't it? Long old away trip. Not many of our supporters there. I mean, amazing effort, but, we're outnumbered. Pressure's on. Got this manager waving his arms around and being that guy, because I don't really know what he is. I mean, he's obviously got...
He's a hype man.
He kind of is a hype man. He's the Flavor Flav of League Two football.
Yeah.
Getting them all going. Flavor Flav is a very 80s
I think
reference.
there's probably
listeners.
some. I think there's probably some tactics in there as well.
Yeah.
He has got a decent record, hasn't he? And I'm sure he'll keep Grimsby up.
He'll keep him up, and he'll probably take him up next year, I'd imagine. Like, that's what you
I don't know. We won't go that far, but who knows? But
You got League Two's like,
he'll
just give
definitely
it-
keep him up this year.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I would not
It's
want
a
him
lot
as our
of-
kind of manager. Like, I know
Oh.
Taylor and Tisdale are very different characters, but neither of them embarrassed themselves. Like, like ignoring the time Tisdale did a sign at us all.
Allegedly. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad we haven't got someone like him, and I'm also glad we haven't got someone like that guy down the road, Ryan Lowe. I sent you this thing of at the end of Argyle's game, obviously they won at the weekend, and they're sort of creeping up. Right behind us now, aren't they?
Yeah.
But and he's like there running towards the fans, waving his arms around, sort of like beating his chest. And whatever, it's fine to do that. But two things. One, I'm just glad we've got someone who's like a bit more measured. Matt Taylor's a bit more measured. He's not doing that and making a fool of himself.
Yep.
Or, really kind of like putting, like making a big fuss, and he's just like calm. And like, I'm so pleased to have a manager like that rather than this like kind of arm waving twat like one of those two,
Yeah.
And
Yeah, as much as I dislike Holloway, and I do, Ryan Lowe is just the worst. If you didn't see it, listeners, he did this kind of, like Jurgen Klopp, who, by the way, is currently the best manager in the world, and his team are basically unbeatable, and he seems to be the nicest guy ever. And so on occasions, he does this kind of fun thing of like running towards the crowd after saying he won't, and then they all cheer.
yeah.
So Ryan Lowe's kind of taken that on. Thing number one, Ryan, you're not the best manager in the world. You're nowhere near it. Thing number two, you're not playing in front of an absolute packed house of, Scousers who like love you to your very core. I
Yeah,
think-
and you're also fourth, and by your own admission, Argyle fans, you are too big for this division. So how come you're only fourth? Like how come you lost 4-0 to Exeter City?
and then
but
everyone
the other
hates
thing is,
Ryan Lowe. Like he's an arse, isn't he? So like,
do they? Everyone loves him.
They do down there, but I mean like the rest of the world.
No, I think people love him. I think people love a lad, don't they? He's one of us. He's just like me and you. He loves a good tear up.
Dan's doing the Liam Gallagher.
I don't know
hands.
whether he's like that at all, but I just got a feeling that he is.
Oh, I'm sure he
and-
is.
Also, it's all well and good doing that when you beat whoever you've beaten then. I don't know who it was, Stevenage or something.
Yeah,
But it probably wasn't them.
I
but
don't know who it was.
when you lost 4-0 having
Mansfield.
to Exeter City, having like, underestimated your local rivals and whatever else, just, been crap. Straight down the tunnel,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
yeah. Yeah,
Legged
that's right.
it.
That's right. Exactly
Straight
that.
down the
You
tunnel.
can't be the big man one
Couldn't
week.
even go out there and sort of hold your hands up in a kind of apologetic way. and go like, yeah, that's on me, or sorry, or anything like that. Sorry, Plymouth fans. Like, I've just lost you a game to your biggest rivals. Straight down the tunnel.
Yeah.
And that just says a lot about the man. And, here ends this week's Ryan Lowe rant. There'll be others.
They will. Anyway, Holloway, he's not that bad, but he is that kind of like, I wouldn't want to be managed by him. Anyway, fair enough. It was good to beat him. I think everyone knew, not that we dodged a bullet or that we got away with it, but it was never going to be easy. And to come away from that with 1-0 is huge. I think Maxted, again, has got to take loads of credit. Some brilliant saves.
Yeah, I mean...
He's just playing so well, isn't he?
Yeah, he
really is.
And I think I've been a bit critical of him before, but critical of his mistakes.
Yeah.
Not critical of him as a keeper. And we've obviously praised him when he's done these like incredible saves. And he's definitely Hollywood, isn't he? As in, he dives for stuff that... I don't know if you need to dive for it, all of those,
Yeah.
But it makes it look good and impressive, and he's keeping him out. So I'm not having a go.
Yeah.
But he's definitely Hollywood. But now it's just like you can't argue with the stats.
No. Huge. He's keeping Law. No, not Law.
So he's
keeping Ward out of the team.
Yeah, he is, legitimately. And that's not something we thought would be the case.
No.
When he came in, and his first game, if you remember, he played sort of after Ward's injury, he made a couple of like unbelievable saves. So everyone was like, oh, great. This guy's great too.
Yeah.
But then he's had a few kind of games where he cost us a goal or two here and there. And it looks a bit like, oh, okay, well, we can see maybe why this guy's like
second
Ward. In the kind of pecking order, because maybe even if he's just not as consistent as Ward, and maybe I think his distribution is not quite as good, but now he's legitimately keeping Lewis Ward out of the team with those performances, because how can you drop a player like that?
Yeah,
how can you?
No, quite, and him and Parks and Martin, that is such a powerful thing in the centre of defence, isn't it? Like, they've just been brilliant.
Yeah. And all that, the defence of the keeper has changed quite a lot this season. There's been times when Tom Parks hasn't been in the team.
Yeah.
Up until recently, he wasn't in the team.
Yeah.
Moxie's injury and whatnot got him back in there. And, Sweeney and Aaron Martin, fair enough, have been pretty consistently in the squad. But Aaron Martin, remember, almost all of last season had this massive question mark over his head. What's happened to him? Where is he?
Yeah.
There was rumours that he was off in the summer.
Yeah.
But now it's like you think he's such a vital part of that team. And imagine if he gets injured tomorrow, how worried everyone would be.
Yeah.
And, and this is a player that no one even knew where he was last season.
Yeah, interesting. But I think they've really turned into something. Like, if you go back 3 months, right, we were like, well, we used to be solid. Beginning of the season, we were kind of solid. And now we can't score and we're not solid at the back. And they've really just, through hard work and determination, turned this into a really solid thing.
Yeah. It seems like to me that Matt Taylor has got them just drilled.
Yeah.
And when we've had those blips, he's gone like, right, we're focusing on, this is where the focus is going, and we're just going to tighten this up. And it seems to work. And I'm sure we will concede more goals this season. But hopefully not very many. And if we can carry on like we are now, that's what will happen. We won't concede many,
No, absolutely. So our stats, which are well worth mentioning. Oh, well, on that, of course, Taylor was made manager of the month for December, wasn't he?
Yeah, we forgot to mention it last week. And
Yeah.
it was remiss of us, because that's really well deserved.
Absolutely.
And I think I'm just sort of starting to not take him for granted, but kind of think, like, we're not banging on about him, are we? And I think he sort of is worthy of being banged on about.
Absolutely he is. So I'm pleased that he got that award. What that does is takes us to being unbeaten in 10 games in League Two. The last time we lost in the league was the 2nd of November.
Yep. Is that 7 clean sheets out of those 10 as well, I think, isn't it?
It might well be, yeah. So we've won 3 in a row, or we've won 7 out of those 10. Or 4 in the last 5, if you want to extend the stats. So that's just incredible. I mean, that is absolute promotion form, isn't it? And
yeah,
what we're noticing,
it's whether we can keep it up.
But what a run that is. And of course, November, December, January are such sticky patches. Like, as in terms of like, so many games, there's so much going on, they're so close together. Obviously, it's a busy time for everyone anyway.
Yeah.
And
we have been. I think we've been lucky with injuries this season.
Yeah.
That we haven't had more, because we have had quite a few. But if you think about how much worse it could be injury-wise,
Yeah.
we've had Nicky Law available for the whole season without getting injured.
Yeah, Bowman.
We've had Bowman without getting injured. Randell Williams. These are some of our stars. I would put some of the defence in there as well, but that's. I know we've lost Sparks and Woodman and there's others, Holmes and whoever else, and we've had a few suspensions, but on the whole, he's managed to keep the team fit.
Yeah, it's huge.
And who knows whether that's. I know we have had some, but who knows whether that's. Matt Taylor wanted to change things in that area, didn't he? He's brought in these kind of strength and conditioning coaches, and we can only assume that that's working, because,
Well, you can't argue with the stats, and you can't argue with those results, can you?
I wasn't going to.
Well, good. Please don't. So next up, there's two things happening this week. By the time you're listening, you may well know that we've played Stevenage in the old leasing.com, that thing. Somehow we've made it to the quarterfinals. Stevenage at home Tuesday night.
Yes. Are you going?
I can't go. I'm working.
Okay.
Are you going?
I am going, yes.
Okay. Will you be in the away end this time?
I wouldn't have thought so.
I mean, presumably the turnout's going to be much lower than it was.
Yeah, probably. Who knows? But yeah, I might get there 5 minutes or so earlier this time, but just in case.
Good.
But I think there's a bit of debate over whether or not there's any point going, or whether people should go, or they shouldn't.
Yeah.
I sort of think, like I said, I am going to go, but that's sort of because it's not because of any kind of moral point, or that I sit on one side or the other of that fence, but just because I've got nothing else to do, and I live 2 minutes away,
and you like Exeter City,
and I like going to watch them. But I'm sure the people who aren't going like watching Exeter City too, and I understand why people sort of don't go and protest, because it is a joke competition. It is.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it?
We've been over this, haven't we, with the Premier League teams, but
they're almost all gone, aren't they? I think Leicester are the only ones left. Is that right?
Yeah, but it's not.
I know that's not the point.
Yeah,
We'll see. I mean, we've never won a trophy. Apologies. We've never won a national trophy. I know we win the Devon Bowl on occasions.
Yeah,
St. Luke's
but let's
Cup,
be
whatever it's
honest.
called.
Even if we win it, it doesn't count, does it?
Well, it's not the FA Cup, is it?
I mean, look back on the history of Exeter City. We won't go, and the halcyon days of 2020 when Exeter City won the leasing.com trophy.
No, we
in
won't.
front of hundreds of fans at Wembley Stadium. It'd be good to win it, sure, but I'm not going to be losing my mind.
No.
Celebrating. They shouldn't put an open top bus on for it or anything,
No. Funny, isn't it? I don't know how to feel about it, really. Because we're never going to win the FA Cup. And we're never going to win anything else.
Well, we might win a league. That's what we're actually
But we might
in.
win a league.
And we could, that's just the reality of it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, fair enough. So that's tomorrow night, or Tuesday
It's
night,
a nice chance
you're listening.
We'll see some... Brennan Dickinson can't play because he's cup tied.
Okay.
Attengarn will be back in there, and then you will get to see some of a bit more of the kind of the future players of City. So
I wonder if Lewis Ward will be in goal, because he was supposed to be, wasn't he, for the Ipswich game?
he will be.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in goal for the under-23s the other night.
Sure.
So.
Okay. So
and of course, Dino Visser is no longer with us.
No. I certainly
Sad
will
news.
miss him.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good one. Anyway, he's gone.
Yeah.
We don't know where he's... I mean, he's just... Obviously, we don't have the money to keep 3 keepers on. So he's...
No, I wish him all the best.
been let go. Well,
in a way, it's
absolutely.
quite nice that all he's done is come in, saved 3 penalties and left.
And shouted at some... shouted at some...
And if we do go on to win this, kind of, Wikipedia Cup, then we'll, whatever it is, Google trophy.
No, it's the GoDaddy.net.
Yeah. foxybingo.com bowl. He'll be a part of that, a big part of that, won't he? Yeah. And it'll be a weird little bit of Exeter City history, which doesn't really count. And we had this guy, people will go who's that? Looking back when historians are going back through the archives, they'll think, who the hell is Dino Visser?
That'll be an absolute Devon
And
live
they'll come
quiz
knocking on
answer,
my
won't it?
door, and I'll be,
Yeah.
old, and I'll go, let me tell you about Dino. In he
Anyway,
came,
he's gone.
saved 3 penalties, left.
The
Yeah, he's
only
gone.
other change, of course, to the squad is Jordan Tilson, who's actually been with us a really long time, has been sold to Ross County, the
Yep.
most northerly club in the UK.
Yep, that's a stitch up, isn't it?
So he's gone from almost the most southerly
Heck.
to the most northern.
I mean, what a weird life footballers have,
Ross County, I've been there once, not to see football, but drove past it, and it's in a town called Dingwalls, which is, as you can imagine, the kind of equivalent of, it's not Penzance, it's not that nice, Redruth or something, like way, way, way up in the Scottish
Blimey,
Highlands.
That's a damning indictment of a town.
Oh, well, that's what it is, like the surroundings are nice, but the town's
Yeah.
much like you can imagine. And it reminded me very much of City 20 years ago. So their grandstand looked like our old grandstand.
Okay.
Off from the outside, it's all corrugated
Yeah.
iron. I mean, they're SPL, so of course
Yeah, and he'll go and play at Ibrox, won't he?
it's nuts. The disparity between the teams just in that league is kind of mad, isn't it?
The
when you think of it
Celtic
like that?
ground. I believe it's
Parkhead.
called. Yeah, Parkhead. Yeah, but and on the other positives for Jordan, they've got a nice kit. Very nice looking kit.
Yeah.
That's about it. But I saw in that photo of him, his sort of being announced. I've always thought this about Tilson in a way. Like his face makes me feel sorry for him,
Oh.
and not in a bad way. It's like I don't feel like I feel sorry for him for having that face. It's just like I look at his face and I think, oh, like I don't know why. I just feel sorry for him. He's just got a nice face, but that I feel sorry for.
Well, I honestly think he was unfairly lambasted by City fans. He was very much
He
a certain kind of
certainly
player.
has been. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's been a good servant, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And like we've had the massive upgrade of Atangana, but that's an important role in a team. Like it's not always glamorous.
Yeah.
And obviously Atangana plays it with a certain amount of style, but Tilson was really helpful in that position. So good luck to him up at
Best of luck, Jordan.
very northerly Ross
Oh,
County.
I was about to say we haven't got
He's
any
closer
Jordans
he now
left.
lives closer to Oslo than he does to Exeter.
Oh, we used to when we had all the Jordans. Do you remember that? And now we've got hardly any left. There's only one left.
Only
now.
one left, yeah.
Oh well, let's get another one.
So he's gone, which obviously made room for Dickinson. Do you think we're going to get any more signings in?
No.
So Joel Randall's in the first team squad now, and as we saw played on Saturday, Taylor's just kind of resourcing himself from there, isn't he, I think?
Yeah.
I don't think, it doesn't look like we're going to be selling anyone either.
No. I mean, and as long as that doesn't happen, I'd say we don't need anyone else. Not at the moment.
No, he's filled the void that we had with Sparks getting injured, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So Woodman will be back at some point.
Yeah, we've got cover in all areas. And I think he said he was going to try and we were hoping to keep your man who's covering in Notts County. Not
Richardson.
Jaden Richardson.
Yeah.
He's hoping to keep him for the rest of the season.
So is he our only player we've got on loan? He is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a change as well, isn't it? So
It is,
we own those players, or rather their contracts are with us.
Yes.
Dickinson's only contracted till the end of the season. I'd imagine there'll be a follow-on clause, if both parties want to stay.
Yeah, I think it would make sense. You can only assume, if he does well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You can only assume that this is Woodman's last season.
Yeah.
And then
Isn't he older than Matt Taylor?
you're only far off.
He's not far off.
And then next season to have Sparks, how old is he? 20, 21?
Yeah, young.
And then Dickinson, if he's a success at 26 or something, that
Yeah.
seems like two players in that position, one older, one slightly younger.
Yeah.
It seems like the ideal situation. Again, seems like good,
They're both
sensible
flexible, aren't they, in
recruitment.
those positions. So Dickinson said in his interview he can play left back, he can go forward.
Yeah, what it looks like and what seems to be happen when he came off at the weekend as well is that those people like those two are going to play when we're attacking.
Yeah.
And then when we have got a defender lead or something like that,
Yeah.
that's when Moxie moves over. It becomes Moxie came on. It became a 4-4-2. Moxie staying back, holding back in that more traditional left back position, and that's what Woodman would be doing if he was back in there as well. If he wasn't injured, that would be the option there too. So yeah, I think we've got options all over the pitch. I don't think we really need anyone else. We've got plenty of attacking options, especially with the youngsters in there. And there's not enough places anyway for everyone. So you've got Martin and Bowman, and then you've got Jose on the bench with
Fisher.
Seymour and Fisher, who's back soon, and Joel Randall. I know these are some of them are more wider than others, but they're all up there and can fit into the system. So
Yeah. So that leads us on to our next home league match. That's Colchester this Saturday. And it's only been less than a month since we played Colchester last.
Yeah.
Of course, we went up there over the Christmas period. They're the last team we didn't beat, in fact.
Yeah, but we did end their... didn't we end their kind of winning run?
Yeah. Now, they've got a remarkable, even better than us, unbeaten run. They're unbeaten in 13. But they've drawn 4 out of the last 5. So they won at the weekend, which is their first win. The previous 4 had all been draws.
Okay, so where we're winning 1-0 every game, they're drawing.
That's right, that's basically right. They beat Macclesfield 2-1 on Saturday. I mean, you got to be beating Macclesfield, I'd imagine. So that was probably something they needed to do. They've got Luke Norris, of course, up front, and this lad Robinson, who've both scored 6 each. So it's obviously dried up a bit in the way that Bowman's kind of kicked on. Those two haven't kicked on as much. If you recall, listeners, that game 2-2 away, Taylor scored first, I think. Then we went 2-1 down. Then they had a man sent off and we got the penalty from it, which Bowman scored.
Oh, yeah.
We still had about 15 minutes left and we didn't really capitalise.
Yes.
We kind of had all the pressure on, won the penalty, and then we kind of settled for the draw, which I think Taylor was a bit frustrated by. So obviously that's going to be another tough one. They sit in 8th currently. They're very much part of the playoff push, but we're obviously in the form of our lives.
Oh, I know. It's worrying, isn't it?
I mean, it can't last forever.
I know, and that's what I find worrying. And also, it's like every game. I mean, it's brilliant. I'm not taking anything away, but when you win every game 1-0, I'm always thinking like, when this can't keep going, And I kind of think, when are the wheels going to fall off?
But that's our natural inclination as City fans.
And why would they? But they usually do.
It doesn't seem chaotic to me. That's the thing you can say. I think with Tisdale sometimes you were a bit like, this is chaotic one way or the other. We swing one way and win 10, then we swing the other way and we lose 10, and we like this. It doesn't feel like that to me. It feels like we will lose at some point, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be hard to get back to winning ways afterwards.
Yeah,
that's my thought.
I hope so. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe.
So that's Colchester Saturday. Then of course we're away at Swindon. We've taken at least 1,000 away. They've sold our first 1,000.
Oh, it's going to be good, isn't it?
Allocation. We're going even us two are managing to leave the city.
Glory supporters.
Yes,
we'll go away, but only if it's against.
We want to go to an ex-Premier League ground.
And it's got to be fairly near.
So that's that. They, of course, Swindon lost at the weekend to Newport.
Yeah.
Which is kind of remarkable.
The wheels are coming off and we're right behind you.
So let me just run the league.
In fact, we're not even behind them.
No.
I mean, we are only in name.
In name. So Swindon sit top, 28 games played, on 53 points. Exeter City sits second, 27 games played, 53 points. They've got a goal average of plus 18. We're on plus 11. Now you're thinking, listeners, that's a 7-goal swing. Well, that's true, it is. But actually, of course, that can change really quickly. If they win at the weekend by 1 and we win at the weekend by 2, suddenly we're catching them up.
Yeah, or
we beat them 2-0.
It stays the same. We get to Swindon Park.
Yes.
And
county ground.
The county ground. And we beat them 7-0.
I mean, it's just simple maths.
That seems like the most likely.
We don't have to beat them 4-0, in fact.
Oh, yeah.
So
we could beat them 7-0 anyway.
It's completely manageable. Then the league gets a bit closer. So behind us, Crewe and Argyle sit 3rd and 4th.
Who?
Cornwall. Sit 3rd and 4th. They've got 47 points. They've got a game in hand over us. So they're 6 points behind us with a game in hand over us and 2 games in hand over Swindon.
There's some people playing this Tuesday coming, aren't there? I think Crewe are. So we'll know the result of their game in hand this Tuesday.
Yeah, so Crewe, well, it's Macclesfield away. So
they may well be like 3 points behind us by the time
they
this
might,
is even
they might then.
out
That's
there.
true.
But you never know. And
it's also worth saying that Colchester have got a game Tuesday in the league, so they're not going to be as fresh, and that's Bradford at home. So they're going to have a kind of more difficult game than we are this Tuesday. So Crewe and Argyle sit third and fourth on 47. Then Bradford, same number of games as us, 27, are fifth on 45. Northampton exactly the same. Then Cheltenham, same games as us, 27, but on 44. Colchester are the same in eighth. Forest Green have played the same amount of games as Swindon, 28, but they've got 44 points. Port Vale, 28 games played, 41 in 10th. Then it really drops off.
Yeah.
So really, we're in a 10th, top 10 teams charging for automatic.
I know we're
playoffs.
still well in there with, like nothing's written in stone.
No.
But it's nice at this point of the season to be, part of the conversation about the automatic, like legitimately part of the conversation about the automatic promotion places and not just and it's nice enough. It is nice to be, I would still be happy if we were in the playoff places, and we may well end up there, who knows, by the end of the season or even by the end of next week. But actually that can't happen. But, it's a nice feeling, isn't it,
It's a very healthy position, isn't it? And as our goal average improves, like, it's not the best, but it's also completely legitimate in those top 8 teams. So
we're edging forward, aren't we? But like I said, obviously we're winning 1-0 in every game, and it'd be nice to score more and to win 4-0 and be able to relax during games and even afterwards. But it's you can't argue with the maths. It's still 3 points for a win, we're winning games. So
we're totally winning games, and it really is looking great. So Colchester is our last game of January. So if we can come through that unbeaten in January, that would be
it'd be very nice.
Humongous, wouldn't it?
I really think having these kind of like unbeaten runs and momentum kind of has a good positive impact on the team's sort of spirit and the feeling around there.
It really does. Hey, do you know what? I'm completely forgetting a game. Week Tuesday, we've got Port Vale away.
Okay.
So
do that.
So we've got 2 league games left in January. Apologies for that. And then we go on, and actually the games, we've got quite a nice February. Stevenage, after Swindon. So Swindon away, Stevenage at home, Oldham at home on a Tuesday, Macclesfield away on a Saturday, Northampton, that'll be a tricky one, away on a Saturday, and then Crawley at home on a Saturday. That's February. So our February is a bit gentler than our January.
Okay. Well, there's no. On paper it is. There's no. I mean, we know this in League 2. There's no difference. Really.
No. Can I shock you, Dan?
Yes, please do.
Once we get to the end of January, which we're 2 games away from, there's only 3 months left in the season. All our games are done by April.
That seems like too long to me. Ages.
Well, it's good to be. We'll enjoy it while it lasts, eh?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. Why not?
Why not? Hey, thanks for listening, everyone. Remember, you can get in touch in the normal ways. Twitter, we're at Big Bank Pod. On Facebook, we're the Big Bank Theory Podcast. And you can email us, bigbankpod@gmail.com. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague, Dan.
Hang on just a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Someone mentioned on Twitter that Brendan Dickinson was wearing Converse All-Stars in his little photo.
Oh, yeah.
That's, that is of interest to me.
Do you like that?
Yeah, I do. In theory, I like it. When you think of people wearing sort of Converse, Chuck Taylors or All-Stars or whatever you want to call them, you kind of think, I would think of like Kurt Cobain, Joey Ramone, or like, cool skateboarders.
Yeah.
But I've got a bad feeling that probably someone off Love Island worn them, and that's where he's got it from, rather than. Well, maybe, but I think probably not without. What do you think's more likely? Someone off Love Island's worn some Converse, and Brennan's seen that and gone, oh, they look cool, or he's a big Nirvana fan.
I wouldn't like to cast aspersions. Maybe we'll find out. I would say this: we need a bit of cool in this team. Bowman is doing his nut on Instagram, about his teammates, particularly Parks and Maxted, and their love of, I guess it's Fortnite, and playing the game. They've got the headsets on. They're playing
really?
it on the team bus. They're playing it in the hotel rooms.
Right. They're also having a big sort of beard competition, aren't they?
They
From
are.
that Max. That was actually, they do that ask the players kind of thing.
Yeah.
I really liked Johnny Maxter's one. It was like, it was funny, I liked him. But yeah, lots of talk of having a beard.
So Beards and Fortnite suggest they're like Dungeons and Dragons kinds of guys. So if Dickinson is into the Ramones and Blondie, I fully approve.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Maybe he'll suggest some songs for the pre-match playlist. That's usually the telltale sign of what they really like. Sweeney.
Yeah, that was it for him.
That's
He was
it.
off the artistic roll call forever after that.
He was. So if Dickinson's suggesting, like, I don't know, Shellac or
Yeah.
or New York Dolls,
Flipper.
Flipper, then we'll find some stuff to talk about with him. If not, if he asks for like,
Yeah, what? I don't know.
I don't even know.
All my kind of mainstream references will be so outdated that I'm embarrassed to bring them up.
If he's
I
asking
was
for
going to
like,
say DJ Sammy, but
well, I don't know, Cardi
probably
B or
whatever.
Yeah, Drake or something. Maybe we'll be.
I like Drake
Oh, all right.
in a way.
Sir Francis. Anyway, that's enough of that. Keep in touch if you've got any more knowledge about Dickinson's artistic influences.
Yeah, if you see him anywhere, and just make a quick mental note, take a little mental photograph of what he's wearing and what conclusions you can draw from that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let us know.
We don't ask for much, do we?
We really don't. We just need eyes.
Yeah.
Eyes in the crowd.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for listening. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan. We've said this already.
Cheers.
See you soon.